Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. We'll do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Now, hey, what is crack-a-lackin', everybody? It is Cody here, and I am joined by Justin Dream. Now, I'm going to ask him a few questions, as I always do when I do these interviews. But first, before I do that, please, please, please smash the subscribe button on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube and you're on Twitch and or on my personal Facebook, please head on over to r2youtube.com. That's the letter R, the number 2, youtube.com, because that's where I can see your comments somewhere. We'll figure it out, but there it is, right there. All right, but I can see your comments. And you can ask Mr. Dream some questions if you would like right there. Okay. And I'm going to ask him a few questions, but like I said, don't forget to smash the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, this interview will be available probably tomorrow on Podbean. There's a link down in the description to Podbean where you'll be able to find that. Make sure you follow us over there as well. And also in the description is Justin Dream's Instagram, as well as his Pro Wrestling Tees website, where you can buy 5. I think you have 5 of them up there now, right? 5 T-shirts?
4 right now.
4 right now. So 4 T-shirts right now that you can buy of Justin Dream. And right now, there is a special deal going on ProWrestlingTees.com where you can get 20% off. I believe there's a promo code. Do you know what it is? America, right? So use that promo code, get yourself 20% off, and get yourself a Justin Dream T-shirt. They're pretty cool. So, my man, what's crack-a-lackin'? How you doing today, man?
Doing all right, getting ready for the holiday weekend. Not sure what I'm able to do, but I'm going to try to find something to do.
There you go. I like it. Now, you're not in Michigan. We were talking about it a little bit ago. You're down in Ohio, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so Ohio, there is absolutely zero wrestling going on right now. There are no legal shows whatsoever in Ohio, so those of them that want to wrestle have to come up into Michigan where they can have outdoor shows with up to 100 people. I can't remember. I guess it depends on the region of the state that you're in because we're all in different phases. And then now you were telling me that Ohio just recently, the whole state passed a law where they're going to fine people not wearing masks, huh?
Yes, it started in Dayton, Ohio today it fines up to $25, and it's only like in public places like grocery stores, just really any public place, I guess. And it's going to start in Cincinnati on the 9th, I do believe.
Wow, I mean, that's kind of nuts. But there is no wrestling there. And is it because of is it crazy down there as far as the virus goes, or what?
It all comes down to the Ohio Athletic Commission. Right now, they haven't deemed it safe for combat sports.
Combat sports.
That's how they qualify.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I guess I understand to an extent, but I mean, as long as you're following social distancing and doing what you're doing, I think you should be all right. But that's just my personal opinion, right?
That's my opinion. They've even opened up amusement parks now.
Well, so I mean, so what, Cedar Point's open?
I know Kings Island is nearby.
Okay.
Cedar Point, it might be.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about wrestling, eh? So last weekend or the weekend before, you had a match with one of your stablemates there in XICW against Dre Jacobs, and also the season 1 XICW Wrestling with a Vet Proving Ground champion Jay Maynard. A little crazy there. Lots of barbed wire and weapons and golf clubs and things of that nature. What's it like for you to go in a match against somebody that, you know, you both have a lot of mutual respect for each other, you and Dre, because you're stablemates, obviously, in War Inc. What's that like for you?
Like, that match was very interesting for me because on one end, I got Dre Jacobs, somebody that's been there for me literally since day one.
Right.
On the other side, you got Jay Maynard, who honestly, that was the first time I met him was that day.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
That was my first time ever meeting him, and turns out we were in a triple threat match for the Extreme Intense Championship, and for me, that just the idea of being in that match meant a lot, because I remember way back when I started coming to XI, and I worked my way up. I did security for him. I was putting up the rings. I still do to this day. And now that my first match for XI was in 2018. It was either August or September, I do believe. And then fast forward to now, I'm in a match for one of our top championships.
Absolutely.
Top matches. It's all about perspective. That's how I really see, like, okay, I gotta be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And slow down now.
Right. I you know, and this is my opinion. I don't know what other people think, and frankly I don't give a shit. But it was the match of the night in my opinion. And I said that to you later on, and it was a great match. And I've said it a couple times. That match woke everybody up. It really did. Everybody. And then from that moment on, and I do believe there was intermission directly after that match.
Yes.
So that match happens. It pulls the crowd in. They go to intermission. They have some shenanigans go on at intermission there. Okay. And yet the crowd was still drawn into the wrestling. You know, usually that first match back after it takes a minute for the crowd. In my opinion, that is the worst spot to be on the card. Right. But they were in it still. They were in it to win it, and they enjoyed it. Even though it was a smaller crowd because of the conditions that we have, the crowd was hot, especially after that match. And it continued to get hot. And my opinion, that match is what made the night. And I agree. That was a great match, dude. It really was. And all the way around with all three of you guys, Jay Maynard. And because, you know, Jay Maynard took a break. Jay Maynard kind of took a step away and was going to retire. And it was only recently that we started seeing him again in the ring. So that's good that he's back. You know, he was a tag partner with one of your other stablemates, Billy Ray Daniels. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, they were tag team champions at Blue Water Championship Wrestling. I think he said they had 68 days or something like that. 9 months. That's what it was. 9-month title reign they had. But yeah, good stuff there. Speaking of War Incorporated or War Inc. there, you know, boy, oh boy, have you guys brought on some membership, huh? What's going on there? What's up? Tell me, what are you guys, what is there, like a fierce recruiting thing going on or something?
We're looking at people that's not given their fair shots. Like people that constantly bust their ass, people that put in the hard work, but they're still not in the direct view of somebody. Like, they're still not on that radar.
Okay.
We take people like El Ridiculoso. We took people like Billy Ray Daniels, Megan DeFrancisco, Ryan Freeman. We got including myself, right now we have 11 active members.
Holy moly. I think that might be more than DTA. They might even be more than the Nomads.
We still always fight DTA. That's the thing.
Well, you know, I've interviewed a few of the factions, right? So, and I've had not most of War Inc., not all, but most of War Inc. on the show in some form or another. And we've talked about it a couple times on the show with DTA, but also with members of the Nomads, that there's always been this thing where the Nomads and War Inc. has wanted to face off, whether it be tag matches and or, you know, faction versus faction or stable versus stable or whatever, but it never really seems to flourish, whether for some reason or another. Why do you think that is? That there's that constant flame there?
I feel like people, especially like at that time, not many people really knew about War Inc. Like, for the beginning of War Inc., it was mostly known as like a Northern Ohio thing, and maybe just like maybe one or two companies in Michigan. But now that we're starting to get like was starting to get more members. People started to talk about more. People started to realize that, like, when we did the match at XI, people knew War Inc. from me and Dre both being members.
Right.
So I feel like that was a lot of the people were getting invested in that. And now the people are knowing War Inc., people are getting ideas of, like, what we're all about. I think now is the time to strike when Iron talk, as far as, like, give us a match with the Nomads, give us a match with DTA, give us a match with Lily. There's so many possibilities, whether it be member, team versus team, faction versus faction. There's so many possibilities.
Right. Oh yeah. You know, and the iron, like you say, the iron's hot. Might as well go after, right? And we talked about it. I think it was I talked about it on the Nomads show when we had the Nomads on, but there was the idea thrown out there, and I don't think it was my idea. I think somebody else threw it out there, and I had just talked about it. And it was the war game style match between the Nomads and DTA, and I could really, with the members that I know that are in War Inc., I think that style match, the war game style with the 2 rings and certain members coming in at certain amounts of times and stuff like that, I really think that would be a match that War Inc. could really dominate in, because I think that you guys overall, you can survive on your own, but when you're together, it's chaos.
Oh, I completely agree. You were actually there at one of the shows when me and Dre teamed up, so you saw firsthand what we're capable of as a team.
Yep, I absolutely was. That was down in Indiana. I remember that.
Yeah, I believe you also have a post on Rasslin Rage, if I do.
Yep. I sure did. I did post a match. Yeah,
you saw firsthand about what me and Dre can do, and you've also seen firsthand what Dre and Free can do.
Yeah.
But now we got, like, all these other members. You got Dre and TJ. You got me and El Ridiculoso. You got some people coming from Ohio that you've never even seen before.
Right. Yeah. No. And I like that. I really do. I really like getting some eyes on new people, and not that I'm not bored with the other people. It's just, it's good to take it all in and see all the different styles and stuff like that. Speaking of, so we got TJ and Dre as a team, as the Wastelands in XICW season 7 of Wrestling with a Vet from Proving Ground. Right now, there's only 3 teams left, and we don't know when we're ever going to get to see this dance, right? We don't know. Eventually it's going to happen. We know that much. But so you got your 2 dudes in there, and then you got MM3 or no, not MM3, excuse me. Alex Weir with Adam Wick. There we go. Getting everybody all confused. And then you have the Suplex Shogun Jackson Stone with Sean Tyler. Now, I remember, if it was season 6, I think it was season 6, you came out in a tryout match, if I'm not mistaken, for Proving Ground.
Yeah.
Now, was it last? Yeah. But last week, or one of the interviews I did, TJ Meyer, or when we did one of the shows live, I think it was my dub. TJ Meyer made the comment based upon your performance just in this match a couple weeks ago with Jay Maynard and Drea Jacobs that you ultimately should already go into the next season of Proving Ground. And I would concur with that, not even based on that match. I just think you deserve the shot. I really do. And
thank you.
You're welcome. Have you been approached to compete in Proving Ground for next season? And if so, you might not be able to tell us, but is that something you definitely want to do?
It is, of course, something I want to do. I have not been approached. I feel like that's not just because like they're not want to put me in, but like because everything's up in the air right now. They don't even know when to conclude this final season.
Right. Yeah. Well, the season before was a little wonky. There was a lot of weather issues and things like that had it.
A lot of shows and whatnot.
Yeah. So. And now this season we got the pandemic, but we'll get back to it. We will. I don't know it's necessarily going to be the same exact way it was before, but we're definitely going to see some, get back to indoor shows again. When you get back to it, like we know that we see the outdoor shows, but when we get back to like a full time, everything's ready to go. People are working every weekend. They get Friday, Saturday, Sunday bookings, because it's coming hot and people are eating it up right now. There are still a few people that aren't.
They deprived of it. They
Yeah.
want it back.
Yeah. There are some people that are still a little bit hesitant to go out to shows right now. And hey, that's okay. We ain't mad at you.
I'm not going to judge you as long as you don't judge me.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. Now, once you get back to it and you're doing your thing, is there some things that you're looking to achieve? Goals or anything like that?
My biggest goals, of course, is to go into Proving Ground next year. I would say that's my goal for this year, but if it goes the way it does, I won't be winning until next year. So that's my goal for next year, of course.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not.
I want to travel to different states, but I haven't gotten the chance to yet. I'd love to finally get my foot in the door in Canada.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to go anywhere and everywhere. It's simple as that.
Right.
I'm hungry. You got all these people that's like, oh, I'll do this. It's about 10 miles down the road. I'm not like that. I drive. My closest shows aside from FGW is 2 hours away minimum.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a long drive.
It is, and I'm hungry. I want it.
Well, that's good. There's some guys out there that I see that I only see in one company. I don't see them anywhere else at all. Not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been in this for over a decade now. And it really does irritate me when you got people that's like, they say like they're like the 20-year vets, but they haven't gone outside 20 minutes of our house.
Oh, really?
Like, you got a lot of those in my area right now. That's why I don't really associate myself around here aside from FGW.
Right. Well, and FGW, we got mutual friends there, and we've talked about that before when we sat down the last time when we talked about that, and I've talked to Dre about it a couple times too. The plan was.
I believe the last time we talked, we were talking about me going there, and now I'm actually there now.
Right, and that's amazing too, because that's what a place to be. Because you can't. I'm not saying there isn't better places to be or equal to, but that is a great place to be. I will always say this, and I will always recommend people to go and at least do at least one session with Cody Hawk, at least just one, because I know when you get there and you do the one, you're going to want to do some more.
I first met Cody back in 2009 when I was first starting out.
Right.
And I was young. I was only 13 years old. I didn't know the name Cody Hawk.
Right.
Knowing what I know now, I wish I soaked up that knowledge at a much younger age.
Right. Wow.
Anybody, and they have approved the physical training, so we can't have shows yet, but they are allowing training. So, and he is doing training 5-6 days out of a week.
Right.
I encourage everybody listening to the sound of my voice to hit him up.
Now,
it's only $5 or $10 for a week.
Right. I want to give a shout out to all your bros here. They're in here in the chat on YouTube supporting you here. You got TJ Meyer. He says, it's my uncle Black Sheep. And we got Dre Jacobs. He says, Sheepy. Billy Ray's in here. He says, love you, dreamy baby. And then the homegrown vets, Dre says. And TJ says the chat is now War Inc. takeover. So welcome, War Incorporated. Thank you.
Are we going to acknowledge that I had Dre beat for the XI title a few weeks ago?
Oh, what now? Say that again.
Are we going to acknowledge that I did have Dre beat for the XI title a few weeks ago?
So you had him beat?
I did.
All right. Can explain.
It was on your video.
Well, okay, but you have to listen. You got to tell me the story, man. You got to tell me the story.
I remember me and Jay Maynard double powerbomb Dre through with 2 chairs. Jay went for a pin. I knocked him off. I covered Dre. Referee's looking. I had him pinned for about 6-7 seconds.
In the
Shoulders back, referee looking right at me.
What? Well, what should we do about that? Colton says the ref didn't count. Colton Ryder in the chat there. Colton Ryder Holland. Hi, Colton. By the way, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping. Yeah, he did. He was sitting right there. He was sitting front row. He said he seen it. They said the ref didn't count.
I'm not saying what they should do, but I will say that I was the first person ever to beat the War Boy one-on-one. And the War Boy has never beaten me one-on-one. Jacobs has beaten me one-on-one, but I am 1-0 against the War Boy.
Oh man. Oh, you ready for what he says? He says, you know damn well I would have kicked out. That is true.
Then why didn't you?
Oh, he said, why didn't you, Dre? What you got? While we wait for a response, we talked about Future Great there and Cody Hawk and how you guys met and everything. And what is something that you've learned from Cody that's helped you in your career?
Cody just has an amazing mind overall. He's taught me a lot about my conditioning is key to a lot of things. He blows you up. And he's also taught me a lot about like just going with the feel. Like you're out there with the crowd, just feel it.
Right.
Like if you can go in there like thinking like, oh, I want to do this, but the way to like make it more natural is just to go out there and just feel it.
Absolutely. I love Cody because Cody in my mind is a freaking superstar, but in Cody's mind, he don't think of himself that way, and he doesn't treat you or anybody else differently than he would treat anybody else. He's a really cool guy, and the fact that he shows me as much respect as he does just blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I deserve his respect, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it's a great feeling in the locker room at FGW. Like everybody, all the guys there, I felt welcomed there.
That's awesome.
Like in my area, I never really felt welcomed in the locker rooms, as rough as that sounds. Like I was never one of their boys in the locker rooms around here. But like going into FGW, everybody was together.
Right.
And I just felt very welcomed, and they welcomed me in with open arms. And I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I have had and still do to this day.
And that says a lot about Cody Hawk and how he runs his thing, how he runs his stuff. He's a no BS kind of guy, and that's one of the things I love about him. Let's see here. Dre says Cody's training is insane. Let's see. Colton says Black Sheep versus Dre versus Tommy. Let's see here. And then TJ says, so listen, I have a crazy idea. You ready for this one? Dre versus Black Sheep in a lumberjack match, with the lumberjacks being all the other War Inc. members.
Hold on, I thought the XI title can't involve interference.
Oh, man. You're throwing it all there. Best seats in the house, Billy Ray says.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that Dre never answered, why didn't he kick out?
Oh, he said, where did he say here? Where's it at? He says, it's a chess game. I know you two would fight over the pin, giving me time to breathe.
For 7 seconds, when nobody was even counting, there wasn't really much fighting going on there.
Aren't you two supposed to be friends?
Yeah, but I'm here for an opportunity.
Okay, I got you there.
War Inc. loves fighting each other more than they love teaming up, and that's a fact.
Well, I mean, you always fight your friends, right?
Like I see Dre, me and Dre's paths have been very parallel, but also very different as far as like the different areas go to. You smoking? He must have said something.
Yeah, he did. He says, why waste energy when I don't need to?
Okay.
Also, Cody, brothers hit the hardest. That's true.
And me and Dre's careers were very parallel, but very different. Like we took similar paths, different places.
Right.
He bet on himself before I did. Like I was always afraid of going out like way far out. He pushed himself to go beyond. And that's why he's in the spot he is in today. He deserves every damn bit of it everywhere he goes.
Absolutely. Hey, hello there, Ryan Freeman. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
That's another one.
Yeah, he's in here. He's War Ink is what he says, but I want to say thank you for coming on in tonight and hanging out with Justin Dream and I. Now, we talked about Proving Ground. We talked a little bit about Future Great Wrestling and the locker room that Cody runs, because I've always heard Cody's a pretty good locker room general. As far as,
I agree.
Runs a tight ship and doesn't play games. As far as you, I know you were talking about you were the black. Obviously, is that why you call yourself the black sheep? I just light bulb.
I call myself a black sheep because I've always seen myself as an outsider.
Okay.
A little bit of a history lesson.
Oh, there we go. Let's hear it.
Alrighty. Many years ago, back in 2010, I do believe, my family actually opened up their own company after I had been training, because the place that we were working at actually had to close down. Well, the building got condemned, more or less. And then after my parents' company closed down, so many people seen me as like, oh, you only got to where you were because you're the owner's son, and like how I wouldn't like make it out there where I got to earn everything. So I saw myself as a black sheep in this area. And me and my partner at the time, Kevin Moore, we actually ran as a tag team called the Black Sheep of Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
And once we split up, he ended up wearing a mask. He ended up doing his own thing. I kept the Black Sheep moniker, and I just took that ball and ran with it.
That's cool, man. That's a great story. I like those. The origin story of the Black Sheep moniker.
So the Black Sheep is, in my opinion, my career story. How I've seen myself.
Nice. I like that. That's a cool story, man. And I mean, how it developed into it went from a tag name, right, to a moniker for you as an individual, and it has meaning. So that for that, rather than where it's just somebody says, "Yo, okay, you're so and so," right, and that's your name now, right?
Yes,
that has more meaning.
It's something that like I feel it.
Absolutely. I feel it now. Well, more now that I know the story, right? Before it was like, okay, there's got to be something there. But now that I know it, it's like, oh man, now I really feel it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, like I really think you should tell that story, man. I mean, I know you just did, but to the masses.
And everywhere I go, whether it be XI, whether it be EWE, whether it be IBW, and everywhere I go, I see my personal self as a black sheep in the locker room, because I always feel like I'm out there to prove myself. But like all these people, all these amazing talents, they got their spot, and I'm showing people every single night why I deserve mine. I feel like I have to prove myself every night, not to just the locker room, but to literally everybody that's paying tickets to watch that show. I'm to show you why I'm here to give you your money's worth.
That kind of leaves me speechless a little bit, and the reason why it does is because that's the attitude. That's the attitude, man. That's, in my opinion. As listen, I'm not trained, and I am nobody to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't do inside or outside of the ring as a wrestler, right? But what I will say is as far as being successful in anything that you do in life, you have to have that kind of attitude where doesn't matter where you're at, You can be on the top of the mountain. You still got to think that somebody's coming to get you, right? And I like that, man. I really do. I have a lot of respect for that. I really do. I think that's awesome, dude. I really do. There, we got some chats rolling in. Even when you go to the mall and kick game machines, you're the black sheep. That's what Dre said.
Yeah, because people were looking at that and just be like, "Who's that guy?" And then they're judging. I'm like, "Well, I'm going to show you. I don't care. I'm a black sheep. I'm literally like." That is a thing that actually did happen, by the way.
Really?
Like, you know, the like punching game.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Yeah, I decided to hit my big old boot on one.
Did you slap too or no?
Oh no, it was all impact.
No, there you go. Nice.
It was a rubber ball, so it just had that ping coming off of it.
Right. We got a question here from Billy Ray Daniels. He wants to know, other than Dre, what member of War Inc. do you want to fight one-on-one the most?
One-on-one the most. I owe Megan a receipt, so that's one.
Oh boy.
MM3, without a doubt. Which I haven't heard any cancellations, but July 25th, that match is supposed to happen.
Ooh, good. Where's that at?
Pro Wrestling Havoc. It's their debut show, and on the flyer just said Michigan Center, Michigan.
Okay. All right. Well, I have to check that out.
July 20th, Pro Wrestling Havoc.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Let's see here.
Then I'd have to go with TJ because he is the youngest, and I feel like me being I was literally just telling TJ earlier today how proud I am of him because back in Mania weekend of last year, we did a seminar.
Okay.
He was only like 3 months out of the House of Truth. And we did a seminar, and later that night, we ended up doing a tag match. It was me and Ryan Freeman against him and somebody else who did the seminar. And watching, like, looking back at that tag match now and where he has taken himself, he has done something in less than a year that it takes many people in this business 5 or 6 years to do, and that is really reinvent yourself. And that's exactly what he's done. So I'm very eager I want to see exactly how much you've improved one-on-one.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool that you say that. And he says, hold on. He says, that warms my very black heart and lost soul.
Oh, that's a Christmas.
He says he loves you, black sheepy baby. That's what he says. He said, and then Dre says you almost kicked through the damn machine.
In fact, I almost missed it. I had the running start, so it's once my foot's in the air, then.
That's crazy, dude. That's awesome. And was this just like you guys are all hanging out one night? And
great. Congratulations on working the gathering that year. I'm so glad that they were able to cut somebody so they could afford to bring you in.
Oh. Nice.
Very happy. Very happy, Dre.
There you go.
He knows what this.
Let's see. Oh, okay. They're talking amongst each other right now. That sounds like, okay. It's hard to follow that stuff sometimes when they get going.
We got a personal chat, and it's either memes or just blowing each other up.
Right.
Like, that's all.
Right. Now, you have bookings here in Michigan because obviously you can't work in Ohio right now. Or is Indiana doing shows or no?
I have a show on the 18th in Indiana for Primitive Pro Wrestling in Bedford, Indiana.
Oh, okay. That's oh man, I don't even know where that is in Indiana.
And then I have this.
Oh.
In Jeffersonville, Indiana.
When you got?
It is the EWE Heavyweight Championship.
When you got to go defend that baby?
September 19th.
That's the next show is in September, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's nice.
It will be my final match there.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know who you're facing in that match?
I'm trying to think of his name. Esperato Maya. like the Aztec warrior. Like,
Oh, okay. Now, TJ Meyer has a request. He says he would like you to show the war grumps.
the war grumps.
Yeah, he says he would like you to show them.
It's hanging right here above.
That's awesome. Now, what is that? Can you explain me what the grumps are? I know it's a game or something like that.
That was a YouTube channel called Game Grumps.
Oh, okay.
It involves one of the YouTubers. His name is Ego Raptor Aaron Hansen, and another one is Dan Abedin. And they have helped me through so much in my life. Dan, he has a band that is my all-time just favorite band. I listen to it literally all the time. You can ask anybody that's been in the car with me.
That's awesome, man.
They've put out a lot of music that has helped me, like, physically, emotionally. Like, when you get in those moods where it's just like, I don't even want to go on with life anymore.
Right.
I listen to some of that music, and it helps me out.
Well, that's good, man. And a lot of people, I've went out and I've said, I don't, how do I say this? I'm very open about my past and the things that I've done and the things that I've said. And I own that shit. I own it because I did it, and it might have been wrong, but I learned from it and became better. Right. However, in my life, I've suffered from depression my entire life. I am medicated. I do take medication, and there are days where the medication just sometimes just isn't enough, so I understand that plight. And I believe, was it last week or the week before was Men's Mental Health Awareness Day. And we at work, if you was to wear blue. And so all the gentlemen on my assembly line wore blue that day in celebration of that day.
I wish I'd about that. I honestly didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, and it's really not a common thing that a lot of people know about, because it's also on Juneteenth, and it's also on a bunch of other things. So it's kind of overshadowed, because our health is always overshadowed, right, bud?
It's like having a birthday on Christmas.
Exactly. Wow, dude, you just hit that one right on the nail. Dude, that's nuts. Right on the nail. Hey, guys, listen, those of you that are in the chat right now, please, please, please smash that thumbs up. Those of you that may be catching the replay of this interview, maybe you're listening on Podbean, or maybe you're watching on Rasslin Rage YouTube channel, or maybe you're on my personal Facebook, or maybe you're on Twitch. Head on over to r2youtube.com. The letter R, the number 2, youtube.com. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell, because you'll be notified when all the awesome content is available on the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel. Also, down in the description, there is also a link to Justin Dream's Instagram, and also to his Pro Wrestling Tees store, where you can get that wonderful shirt that he's wearing right there, where it says "Professional Wrestling is Essential," as the Ohio Athletic Commission needs to figure out. Correct?
Yeah.
Right.
More than just Ohio. There's a lot of states that are
still not letting stuff go down. Yeah. Now, is Instagram the only thing that you're on right now as far as social media goes?
I got my personal Facebook. You can find me on JD Ham. My Justin Dream account had been hacked a few months ago.
Oh man, I hate when that happens, dude.
That one.
Yeah, that sucks. Do you have your own YouTube where you post your matches?
I do have a YouTube channel. I need to try and find a way to get back into it, because my email that I had for that was no longer active.
Oh, I gotcha.
But my current YouTube channel is Black Sheep JD.
Okay. So, make sure you head on over there and check out some of the matches. I know Dre Jacobs has a channel and he uploads stuff. I know TJ Meyer has a channel and he uploads things too. So you guys can definitely check that out. And Billy Ray was on yesterday and he has a YouTube channel as well that he uploads his matches to. So
I subscribed to that one. I didn't know Billy had one.
Yeah, and he has one too. But in all the War Inc., I believe everybody, almost all of them, have a pro wrestling tees now. Most of them. I don't know all of them.
I have one. El Ridiculoso has one. Billy Ray just started one. And Matt Hagen has one.
Matt Hagen. So we got 4, right? So we got 4 so far. Now I know Dre. Hey, one thing about Dre Jacobs and his T-shirts. Hey, by the way, plug War Inc. Dre Jacobs and his wonderful Warboy T-shirt, who runs a wonderful special, 2 for $30. Mr. Sheep here, Black Sheep, he runs a great special on T-shirts. Sometimes you just never know what you'll get.
I'm going to extend that offer all summer long. It's good.
There you go. I like it.
$15 if you buy them through me.
There you go.
Buy them correctly.
Yeah. So if you see him at an event and you get one, it's $15. And then Dre does 2 for $30. So, man, you can't beat that deal.
5.
What's that?
The 2 for 30 or 2 for 35?
I tell you what, I can't remember. Maybe I thought it was 2 for 30, but maybe I could be wrong. If he's still in here, he'll tell me. He'd be like, "You're costing me money, dude." He's good. That's a guy I don't want mad at me. Let's be perfect. I understand he's your brother and you guys like to fight and all that stuff, but I don't like to fight. So I don't want that dude to be mad at me.
Thoughts at half the time.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely get all this great stuff. Man, I want to say thanks so much for coming on. I do look forward to seeing you next week. I look forward to, this continued doing our thing. How do I say it? I talk about it a lot with doing Rasslin Rage. One of the things that I really enjoy about doing Rasslin Rage and these interviews and going to all the shows is establishing these relationships with people, not only the wrestlers, but the fans as well, and the people that enjoy going to these shows. And learning.
That's the thing I love about XI and FGW is feels like the fans are a lot more open to the people.
Right. Yeah. It is 2 for 35. Correction. I don't want him mad at me. So it's 2 for 35.
I saved it, Dre.
Cody said it was 2 for 30. No, it's 2 for 35. But yeah, XI, amazing stuff. I really enjoy this. It humbles me a lot. But like tonight, I learned something new about you that I never knew. The whole origin story behind the moniker of Black Sheep. I never knew that. It's an amazing thing. When I sat down with Dre, I learned about his outlet for wrestling, and I learned something new about everybody. And I have a little more respect for everybody that I interview because I end up getting to know them just that little bit more, and as a person. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Oh, TJ Meyer has a T-shirt store, he says, too.
TJ Meyer, you're still young. I keep forgetting about you. I apologize. I even shared the post.
There you go. You bought a T-shirt, I thought.
I did.
It's all right. Hey, guys, thank you so much.
And there's the fireworks.
Right. Oh, there they are. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining us tonight, and make sure you follow Mr. Justin Dream on all of his social media and all that good stuff. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.